All right, we're live. Hola, bonjour, and welcome to our Precious Seasons 3 International Encouragement Series on today. I'm super excited for the guest that we have, our guest speaker that's on today. This is number 130. We're up to 130. This is our encouragement series on today. Let me open with a prayer. Holy Spirit, we thank you for yet again another meeting. Thank you for being in the midst of our meetings. Thank you once again for touching the hearts of the people that come on this assignment and minister and talk to the people on the other side of that screen and promote what they're doing, promote their businesses, promote their political views, and promote the word of God. We thank you at this time in the precious name of Yeshua, Jesus the Christ. All right, one more time. Let's just hang on. I'm sorry, excuse me. Our scripture base for today is 1 Corinthians 16, verse 13. 1 Corinthians 16, verse 13. Be on your guard, stand firm in the faith, be courageous, be strong. Thank you for coming on today. We want to thank Christopher Reid for being a part of our program on today, our encouragement series. What time is it, everyone? It's teacup and lemon time. You all know this is my little niche for the program. So my
Yes.
tea, lemon, and lime cup today is I Love New York. I thought it was appropriate with Mr. Reid to have I Love New York on here because I back him up and I support him and I honor him. Mr. Reid, what is your cup for today, or your bottle, or?
Today, I unfortunately don't have a cup, but I have a cup of sparkling water here. I got my Pellegrino. Keeps me nice and hydrated because it is natural mineral water. A lot of bottled water today, they strip of all the minerals, and it's more on the pricey side. But I'd rather spend the money than be dehydrated. So it
That's
it,
right.
it works. Yes.
You know you're getting the right thing. So thank you for sharing that with us. It gives me a great pleasure today to introduce to you our guest speaker is Christopher Reid. He is the chairman of New York, the Republican Club in the Bronx, and we're going to do Q&A on today. We're going to be doing Q&A on today. Let me get my phone because my questions are in my phone, and it gives a great pleasure to introduce Mr. Christopher Reid.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Denise.
You're very welcome. I'm humble. Thank you for coming on my program. I appreciate you.
The pleasure's
My
mine.
first Thank you. My first question is why did you get involved with politics? What prompted you to want to get involved?
Okay. Well, I think the easiest way to describe it is by first telling you why I didn't get into politics. And I didn't get into politics because I dreamed of being in it. I got into it because I saw that there was a sort of vacuum and nobody was really fighting for us and nobody was building anything new that actually mattered from what I was, seeing. And, I sort of looked around and realized that, the people in charge were either asleep at the wheel or just comfortable staying small. And that really pushed me. So, I wasn't trying to, or I wasn't in a position where I was willing to just sort of sit back and complain. I walked in and I took risks and, I started putting structure to something that was real. And for me, politics is not just a hobby. Obviously, it's survival, right? And if you don't step up, someone is going to make decisions for you, and that's not something I'm willing to let happen.
Right, I understand that, and that makes total sense. I want to thank you for sharing. My second question is, what are you bringing to the table? What are you bringing to the table, sir?
Well, hopefully more than I think. But I think I bring a certain level of organization and vision, and most importantly, execution. A lot of people like to talk about what they could do, and for the most part, at least, I actually do it. And I've built coalitions. I have launched events that made headlines. And I've created platforms like Band in the Bronx, which is my show on BronxNet, and we try to give a real voice to people on our side of the political spectrum. And I think overall I know how to connect with people, and how to sort of grow something that lasts, and how to get attention from people who matter. If it wasn't for my ability to sort of create things that got the right attention, I really would not have been able to accomplish anything. I think that comes from being an only child and constantly demanding attention. But take that for whatever it's worth. But I think that my value is that I'm not just a placeholder exactly. I think of myself more as a builder. And the thing is, I don't really need a seat at the table. My goal is to build a table and have people come to that one.
It's really powerful. Question 3: what changes would you like to see happen? And thank you. Wait a minute. That would be beneficial to the people and the community. Let me say that again. What changes would you like to see happen that would benefit the people and or the community? Thank you.
Yes. Well, I think the biggest change we really need is accountability. And, too many leaders, they get comfortable, right? And they make excuses and nothing really ever gets better. So, what I want is a culture where leaders deliver or they're done. And for the community, that means safer streets, opportunities for working with people, and an end to policies that punish success while rewarding failures, which is something that you see way too often in our city today. And I don't want us to get be trapped in these sort of cycles of dependency, which is exactly what they need from us. They need us to stay dependent, and that's the sort of cycle I want to break away from. And I want people to have the freedom to build and to grow and to thrive. And that kind of shift does not come from slogans and nice Instagram posts, even though those do
Right.
help.
Right.
But it comes from real leadership and people that actually see and feel, in their everyday lives, not just, a post or some, meaningless, sort of gesture, something solid, something concrete, something with teeth that the people can actually see and realize this is the change that we need and not just talk about it.
I totally agree with you. Excellent answer. Question 4, we have 7 questions. How can
Oh,
people volunteer and get involved? How can people volunteer and get involved if they would like to?
yeah, sure. Well, for me, the first step was showing up. You come to a rally, you come to a voter registration drive or one of our socials that we have at the New York Young Republican Club, and you plug in. And if you got the skills, whether it's media, organizing, outreach, there's a place for you. And if you don't have those skills, that's fine because uh, being present is what matters. When I first got involved, I didn't have a whole huge skill set. I just had an ambition and an eagerness to be involved and to make things happen. And I always tell people that politics is not really like a spectator sport. You can't just sit on the bleachers forever, right? And whatever you whether you give an hour or a week or months to a specific cause, and you decide to dive in all the way, every hand makes a difference. Every decision, every step, every moment of somebody's time makes that difference.
That's true.
And honestly, when you get involved with us at the Bronx Caucus of the New York Young Republican Club, you're not just volunteering, you're joining a movement. And it's not just, let's do this on this day. It's why should we do this on this day? There's a mythology, there's a methodology behind it, and it's not just a lot of politicians that I had the displeasure of being involved with. They like to lure people in and say, "Come and help," and really, what you're doing is going and getting them a cup of coffee. You know what I mean? And then they say, "Get yourself a donut on me," and that kind of dissuades people from getting involved, and I understand that.
Right.
But when you join movements like and organizations like the Bronx Conservative Party, for example, or the New York Young Republican Club, you are joining a movement, And I think that's the best way. Just you see something on social media, you RSVP with the Eventbrite, or you reach out to somebody, you get involved in any capacity. A lot of people have this idea that, oh, well, what am I going to bring to the table? Bring yourself. That's all we need. We need people.
Awesome, awesome. Question 5. What is your stance or your take on public housing or safety, elderly, youth? Pick one or pick two or pick them all.
Got to stay hydrated.
Yes.
Those are, I mean, specifically for the Bronx, those are all extremely relevant topics that unfortunately don't get talked about because they're not as sensational as immigration or, abortion, for example, which are important, but they kind of push these things like, public housing and safety to the side. So, safety is number one, period. And if your neighborhoods aren't safe, then nothing else works, right? Public housing should not be a dumping ground. It shouldn't be an experiment. It should be clean. It should be safe. And it should be accountable to the people who live there, And for the elderly, it's about dignity, really. I took care of my elderly grandmother for quite a number of years. She was completely dependent on me. And maintaining that dignity with the elderly and not just relegating them to a nuisance, I think is very important. And, they should not be forgotten or pushed aside. They're the ones who built the path for us that we're on now. And we need to show that respect. Now, in terms of youth, I mean, we've got to give them more than just gangs and TV shows to rot their brains out in front of all day. We got to give them mentorship. We have to give them opportunity and a reason to take pride in themselves. Because for me, I walk around and I see people. I'm 32, so I see people my age or younger, and it just seems that they don't have that pride in themselves, that eagerness to sort of be the best version of themselves. And it's in part because of a lack of personal responsibility, sure, but it's also because the environment that they're raised in, that I was raised in, it doesn't reward that. It rewards dependency. It rewards laziness, frankly. And that's the youth, obviously, as cliche as it is, that they are the future. And if you can't get something like safety right and inspire this next generation, then you're going to have no stake in the game. You have to change the game for the whole community, and it's not just select groups.
That was awesome. Thank you so much. Question 6. How will you foster a culture or take a public, no, I'm sorry. How will you foster a culture of integrity and ethical behavior within among colleagues and the public, the community? Let me say that again. How will you
Please.
foster a culture of integrity and ethical behavior within or amongst the community and the public, which the public refers to as the community?
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, of course. Well, the thing is, that word integrity gets thrown around a lot in politics. It's almost like a prop at this point. And if all the people that if all the people that claimed to have integrity did, I think we'd be living in a utopia at this point.
Yeah.
Yes. So, the thing is, integrity is not just a buzzword, it's consistency, I think. And, for me personally, I don't play two different roles, right? The person that is behind the scenes and the one who's in front of the camera is the same. I'm the same person in both of those places. And people see that. My colleagues see that. My family sees that. And that's why they trust me. And, they know that I'm not going to sort of sell them out or play the game, behind their back. And when the community looks at me, hopefully they know that I'm not just sugarcoating things, and I tell them the truth. Whether, it's the good, the bad, and the ugly, I'm going to say it. It's a blessing and a curse not being able to sort of filter what you're thinking. But, that kind of consistency, I believe, sets a tone. And, if leaders hold that line, it forces everyone around them to either rise to the same standard or just, get out of the way and crumble.
much. And our last question, thank you. Promote yourself, your phone number, your email, your business, your website, any upcoming events that you would like to share.
Great. Yeah, sure. So my name is Christopher Reid. I'm the chairman of the Bronx Caucus of the New York Young Republican Club. I'm the host of Band in the Bronx on BronxNet. And, in over a year, well, in just under a year, I've gone from walking into politics for the first time to building one of the fastest growing movements in the Bronx. And if you want to connect, you can reach out to me at Bronx at NYYRC. That's our email. And, we have rallies, we have workshops, events happening all the time. In fact, this Friday, Zoran Mamdani is coming to the Bronx. He'll be in the Woodlawn section of the Bronx for whatever reason. I don't think that's, I don't know. I don't understand the strategy behind that, but my caucus and I will be there representing the club, representing the Bronx, and representing the voters who do not want socialism in our communities. And so that's our next thing that we have going on. You meet us there, and we'll walk around in a peaceful way, just to show the people there that there is an alternative to whatever that man will be spewing that day. And if you're tired of politics being boring and out of touch or corrupt, then plug in with us, because we're building something fresh and bold and unapologetic. And we're just getting started. Our caucus formed back in February, and our first event made national headlines, and we were able to sort of build from that slowly, because Rome was not built in a day. So you could reach out to us you could email us at bronx@nyyrc.com, or you could check us out on Instagram, and that's nyyrc.bronx.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I want to thank you for coming on today, because you're a busy man. I'm a busy woman, but I
Yes, you are.
appreciate your time. And I want to vouch for you and say you have my vote, and I believe in who you are. I see who you are, and I respect the fact that what you say is what you mean, and what you mean is what you say. And that's
Yes,
a rarity today. And I just want to vouch for you in that way. What do we
thank you.
have up and coming? We'll have our continued encouragement series for the rest of the year. We'll have our preach and teach. We're going to have, oh my God, I forgot the day. I think it's September the 14th. It's on a Friday. We'll have a prayer circle, a political prayer, number 3, our third prayer circle.
Wow.
Duran Gonzalo helped me launch it out. So we're doing number 3. James came last time. It was really nice. He's going to come to the next one. Anybody on board that wants to come hang out with us for the 90 minutes, it's in Manhattan on 127th Street. The next encouragement series, I'll have the information. I'll post it today on the Facebook. We're also doing an outreach event Saturday, October the 4th at Poe Park on the Grand Concourse. This is our 9th annual event. Super excited about that. Some political people will be coming up, setting out a table. We also go out to evangelize for Christ that day. We cast our net. That's the main thing for me that day, is to cast the net. We go fishing. We give away free clothes, free shoes, used, but slightly used, but most of the stuff is new, and it's really great. We give our food, water, and juice. We're gonna be televised on the air with, I think, Channel 12. So I'm excited about
Nice.
that this year. So if you're available and you can come out, you're welcome, sir. Let me
Yes,
know.
I would
Okay,
love to
and
be there.
okay, and I want to thank everybody for coming on today and watching this program. This was really good special program on today, and I'm honored once again to have you on. And we're going to go ahead and close with our benediction. Thank you so much, Christopher Reid, for coming on today. You've been a pleasure.
It
And
was
we're going
my
to
pleasure. Thank you so much, Denise.
bless you, sir. Our benediction for today is the Lord bless you. Number 6, verse 24 through 26. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face towards you and give you peace. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, I forgot, I'll be on tonight, 2 a.m. in India on Bishop Daniel Deepak's ministry page in India. I'll be doing a golden nugget talking about faith. Thank you,
Wow.
thank you, thank you. Yeah, shalom, shalom, shalom. Thank you. Have a
Yes.
great day.
Thank you, Denise.
Thank you. You can, all right, let me see how to close.